Look, what's that up in the sky? It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a generic stock image of Godzilla stamped on a video game box. But yes, video games. I love playing them, but I also like looking at them, especially at the box art, which captures an image that clearly defines on what you're about to play. It could be a boxing game, a racing game, or in my case for this video, a Godzilla game. So why don't we take a look at some of these boxes and see what publishers consider worthy of marketing their product. Also keep in mind that we're not going over every Godzilla game ever made, because at least to make this video, the game had to have been in a box or case and sold in stores. So digital games, stand back. So let's begin with this one, released on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Godzilla, Monster of Monsters. The shot of Godzilla here is taken right from the Japanese poster of the original film, with a few modifications of course, like his new teal color scheme, along with the artist kindly bending his dorsal plates over, just so we know that he has them, I guess. At least they're glowing so they kind of blend in with the backdrop, but overall this is a classic cover amongst fans of the game. The Japanese box art also uses an image of the original Gojira, but it's simply put as Gojira, or Godzilla if you want to call it that. Great choice of title, guys. Now let's just chuck this thing into the bag of other things just called Godzilla and move on. Godzilla 2, War of the Monsters. Already we're seeing some improvements. We have a better title, along with some incredible artwork. Though I do have to say that this cover is actually taken from the advanced poster of the 1984 film, that was simply titled Godzilla. And believe me, it's not going to be the last time we see recycled assets slapped onto these, like this super box art for Super Godzilla on the Super Nintendo. It's really cool looking artwork, but again, it's just taken from one of the film posters. But I will say I'd rather have this image of a product called Super Godzilla more so than just a stock image of Godzilla himself. Which one would you think to pick? Next we have Godzilla Battle Legends on the Turbo Duo, where even this cover just uses poster artwork and takes it as its own. However, the US cover goes for something original, I guess. Now I know this is going to make me sound like a bit of a hypocrite, but I actually prefer this cover over the Japanese one, because unlike the last game which used a stock photo of the Big G, this one hilariously has Godzilla and Batra photobombing Mecha G's day at the Ferris wheel here. Next we have Gojira Kaiju Daikasen, or Godzilla Great Monster Battle, released on the Super Famicom. I do like this image. I don't know if it was intentionally paying homage to the battle scene from the original Mothra vs. Godzilla film. If not, it almost looks as though the two kaiju just jumped up shouting, "Surprise!" Not many people know about this game, but Godzilla actually had a game made for Sega's handheld console, the Game Gear, which featured the most deranged looking Godzilla you'll ever see on a game box. Let's give the Game Boy some attention, starting with this one simply titled Godzilla. This one features the Big G surrounded by friends, foes, and his kid. Like the Turbo Duo we saw a bit ago, this one just takes random Godzilla images and tries to form a cover out of them. The European version simplifies things by etching out the other monsters and only leaving a very eerie looking Godzilla crushing a ship in his hand. Germany apparently got their own cover, which is the same as the last one, only zoomed in more on the face. Despite that, the creepy look of this cover still doesn't disappoint. These both capture Godzilla's menacing presence well, but let's see how the Japanese one looks now. Well, I think we have a clear winner here. Okay, apparently this particular game was based on a Godzilla manga series that was ongoing in Japan at the time, which featured cute little Godzilla characters. However, the rest of the world was like, "What are you kidding? We're not trying to market Godzilla for little girls here. We gotta make them look scary, get all those terrifying foes on there." Hey guys, what's the game look like anyway? There was another chibi Godzilla game released on the MSX home computer system, with a cover featuring Godzilla, Rodan, Blue Ghidorah, and pink butt mouth monster thing. The MSX had more Godzilla games on it, such as Godzilla vs. 3 Giant Monsters. 3 giant monsters, huh? I mean, unless he's fighting the Invisible Man here, I only see 2 going after him. Apparently Megalon's the third monster. Either he wasn't cool enough to make the cover, or there clearly was not enough space to include him here. I mean, just look at all this occupied room here. There's no way we can get him in there. I mean, Kumonga down here looks like he's fighting his way just to get in the picture. While not technically a Godzilla game, The Big G was featured in the Movie Monster game, released for early Apple and Commodore computers. This one features gorgeous looking artwork of Godzilla hovering over a doomed city. I don't even care if his skin is green and he breathes fire, it's just nice to see some artistic effort put into one of these. It's a far cry when you compare it to some of the game covers that only features Godzilla's face on the cover with nothing else more than a logo. It's like those animated movie covers you see in places like Walmart, where it's just Shrek's face staring at you to buy them. Boy, the marketing teams really knew what they were doing with these ones. I mean, are you trying to sell me on a movie or someone's profile pic? Next we have Battle Soccer, Champion of the Field, released for the Super Famicom. This features adorable looking chibis of Godzilla, Ultraman, Kamen Rider, and Gundam. This band of Toku heroes would also be featured in a follow-up game called Battle Baseball. Now, licensing all these franchises is probably what scared foreign markets from releasing this game outside of Japan. Now, the TriStar Godzilla did get some love in a few games, but was only featured in a handful of them, like Godzilla Trading Card for PlayStation, featuring both Godzillas battling in what looks to be Red World. Also, why not put the cards on the cover? I mean, if I didn't look at the title, I would think I'm about to play a Godzilla Mortal Kombat game, only to then put the game in and realize that I'm playing a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! The animated Godzilla series from the 90s got 2 games released for the Game Boy Color, which features shots taken from the intro of the show, just slightly altered. Finally, we step foot into the 3D era, where my very first Godzilla game, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee, was blessed upon my eyes. To me, this is a classic cover. Just a shot of Godzilla sucker punching Mechagodzilla while an alien invasion is happening in the background. Ah, good cheesy stuff. Next, we have the European box art of the same game, and it looks adequate. I remember seeing this image in the gallery mode for the game, and I always thought Godzilla just looked kinda weird on it. I don't know how to describe it, maybe it's just the derpy expression. Finally, let's see what Japan got. This is freaking awesome. And I like how they incorporated Kiryu on the cover here. For those who may not know, Kiryu was an exclusive fighter only in the Japanese release of the game, as a way to promote the newest movie at the time. When the game was later released for Xbox, this character was included for the rest of the world to play as. Next, let's look at Godzilla Domination, released the same year as Melee. Both the US and European boxes simply reused the covers they had on Destroy All Monsters, but the Japanese one instead went the extra mile and created a new cover, featuring little chibi versions of the kaiju. And of course, there is no way in hell other territories are going to use this. It's not bad though, and the artwork does match the game's style. Next, we have Godzilla Save the Earth. Again, this is a classic cover to me. I know I shouldn't let nostalgia interfere on how I judge these, but I'm being serious when I say this is an awesome looking cover. You got the monsters ganging up on Space G here, while on the background it looks as though Godzilla found a mushroom from the Mario games and grew 30 stories high. I mean, why the big scale difference between him and the others? I mean, that's not going to be a fair fight. PAL territories would also use this cover, while Japan was graced with another masterpiece. I mean, look at the attention to detail here. This is seriously one of the best, and I mean best, looking covers to any Godzilla media, period. Godzilla Unleashed for the Nintendo Wii is the next game. And the cover is, well, it's okay. It's just okay. I enjoy the Christmas themed color complementary we got going on here, but it's just a pretty mediocre cover overall. With a static pose of Godzilla roaring at, not even at Biollante down here. He's just screaming off into space here. It's like his mind has left the building. The PlayStation 2 version didn't have Biollante, so she was replaced with Gigan for the cover. Oh yeah, there was also that double smash game for the DS, but it's just the same as the Unleashed cover, only this time Godzilla's roaring at nothing below him. We have one last game to go over, simply titled Godzilla, released on PlayStation 3. This one takes a bit of an artsy approach, and it's not bad by any means, and I do kind of like the sketchy design of it. The PlayStation 4 version, titled Godzilla vs., would use a similar art style to the previous version, only this time adding both Space Godzilla and King Ghidorah into the mix. Another really cool one. US and European territories would get a different piece of box art, showcasing a black and white image of Godzilla with red text highlighting his name, possibly making a callback to the original film. If not, it's still a pretty good looking image. And okay, there is that one PlayStation 4 game titled City Shrouded in Shadow, which does have Godzilla in it, but he's not featured on the cover. Regardless though, this isn't bad artwork. And that about does it. Were there any covers here that you liked or disliked? If so, let me know in the comments below. Until then, I'll see you next time.
ゴジラ怪獣軍団君たちと共に熱く戦う連続技で特殊パワーを発揮しろ怪獣大乱闘地球最終決戦